Jean-Pierre, senior advisor for MoveOn.org and contributing editor for Bustle, Sarah Rumpf, editor-at-large for The Capitalist and contributor for Red State. Welcome to you both. Before we get started, Corinne, I'll start with you. Your gauge on whether this thing gets done before Monday morning.
Oh, if it gets this, I'm sorry, I missed that.
Your gauge on whether this gets done or not before Monday morning. You think they get this passed, the shutdown is no longer, the government is no longer shut down and people go back to work?
The way that I see this is this could have ended weeks ago. It could have ended a couple days ago, right? All they had to do, all Mitch McConnell and Paul Ryan had to do is put Chip standalone bill, put DACA, Dreamers, as a standalone bill. It would have gotten bipartisan support overwhelmingly. We did not have to get to this point, but the leadership in the House, in the Senate, and also the president who got us here, he's the reason why we're in this, is what's happening. This all could be done and over with if Republicans in the House and the Senate and the president would just do their job.
Sarah, you think this gets done before Monday morning?
Well, I'd like to hope so, because that's when the real impact will start to be felt by the many members of our military and a lot more government workers. I do have to take issue with the idea that there could have just been a clean DACA bill or a clean CHIP bill and that would have solved this. CHIP and the current government funding were expiring at midnight on Friday. The Democrats were not expressing objection to those two items. And yes, the president has sent a million conflicting messages on where he is on DACA. That's uncertain, but that doesn't expire until March at the earliest. And it's tied up in the courts right now, so that could get extended even further. The stuff that was dying on midnight on Friday was CHIP and the continuing resolution to avoid a shutdown. And that's what was voted on.
But Sarah, we've been talking about this all show. Then there's the idea of trust. So how could the Democrats say, okay, we're not gonna deal with DACA right now. We're gonna push this to March till its deadline, but trust that the Republicans will actually debate DACA. Isn't that really what it comes down to? Is this idea of trust, which really there is no trust, it seems like, right now in Washington.
Hey, that's a fair criticism. Like I said, the president has sent a lot of conflicting messages. Even, Majority Leader McConnell has said publicly, I'd like to know what the president is thinking on this. His own, members of his own administration have put out things that the president himself has been contradicted in his comments and on Twitter. I get it. But the reality, again, is that the only predictable thing about Trump is that predictable. And again, when you know you have several weeks to work it out and try to figure it out and hope that the House and Senate can come up with a bill to have a legislative fix for DACA, which is what the majority of people want. Republicans and Democrats want a legislative fix for this.
And Americans.
Right. The polling shows that there's support for a reasonable, common sense legislative fix for this, and we have a little bit of time. I really wish they could have avoided and just gone ahead and voted on the stuff that they agree on. The DACA fight is going to remain regardless of whether the government is in shutdown or not, and we've got a lot of people inconvenienced now as a result. So I don't think that it's helped the discussion.
So, Corinne, if we go off of what Sarah just said, the only predictable thing, which I kind of like, the only predictable thing about President Trump is the fact that he's unpredictable, then how do the Democrats come to the table here in dealing with a president like that who's completely unpredictable?
I think that it's incredibly difficult to deal with Donald Trump. I think what needs to happen is, honestly, Mitch McConnell and Paul Ryan just need to do their jobs. Just yesterday, Democrats asked for a unanimous consent to bring a bill forward to put CHIP on the floor and to reauthorize CHIP, and Mitch McConnell said no. 2 days ago, the night of the vote on the CR, again, Claire McCaskill asked for a unanimous consent to put a bill forward to make sure whatever happened, that our troops got paid, that Department of Defense employees got paid, the same thing that was done in 2013. Mitch McConnell said no. They're using this as like some sort of political thing here, and it's incredibly dangerous. And I do take issue with one thing. CHIP actually expired over 120 days ago. Republicans who own the House and the Senate could have reauthorized it then, and they chose not to do it. And with DACA and Dreamers every day, hundreds of Dreamers are indeed being deported. So this is an urgency. You have close to 800,000 young people who are trying to figure out what are they going to with their lives. They're living in anxiety. They're anxious. Why would we wait till March? It doesn't make any sense.
You know the insane thing, which I think we can all agree on, is the fact that we are talking about with both CHIP and DACA, the future of children, the lives of children, both those programs affecting children first and foremost. Karine Jean-Pierre and Sarah Rumpf, thank you to you both.
Thank you.
Coverage of the government shutdown continues.